All right, so by now you have all the things on that checklist under things you'll need before you install. You have a Google Maps API key, you have a hosting account, and you have an SSL certificate on your domain. We've also already created an empty MySQL database, and we've uploaded the root server and extracted it into a folder on your hosting account. So notice I did it under public HTML, BMLT, main server. So if we just go to that folder, that's going to bring up the setup wizard. And the first thing that we need to do in the setup wizard is put in the database name, user, and password that we set. Now, as long as we set up everything correctly, we can click test and it'll say it was successful. And now we can go to the next screen. Next, we need to enter our Google Maps API key. And as long as that works, we can click test and then it'll say it's valid and we're good to go. If you're outside the United States, you can set a region bias and then we can go to the next screen. Now the server settings, there's a bunch of stuff here, but we'll go through each one. The server login, that's what you obviously need to set for an admin, and we could just create a password. It needs to be at least 10 characters long, so I'm going to set something very simple for right now. Obviously, you want one that's a lot more complicated because you don't want people to guess this. It is obviously very important as it warns you on this screen. You can set the title, the prompt, the default language. You could also set extra languages in case you have several languages. For instance, English and Spanish is very common. The minimum password length, obviously this is set to 10 right now, and then if I set it to 8, I can now do admin 1, 2, 3. So you can set how complex you want that password to be, and it really only focuses on password length. Distance units you can set to miles or kilometers. Density of meetings for an automatic search, you could set that as well. How many changes to save? So this is an important one. You can set it to up to 15. And this is something that we made a video about before about changing meetings. Because remember, every time someone saves a change to a meeting, it saves the history up to a certain amount. So you can have it save up to 15, but again, that creates a larger database. So that's up to you on how big of a database you want to have. Default meeting duration, that's pretty self-explanatory. Display language selector, so that's a little pop-up menu that you could have come up on the display language. Enable semantic administration, that's important. You probably want to keep that checked just so you can use apps. Meetings considered closed by default, that's another one you probably want to keep checked. Allow email contacts from meetings, include service body administrator on these emails, include all service body administrators on these emails. So this is pretty straightforward. So the next thing that we're going to do, go to the next screen, we want to initialize the root server. So we click Initialize Root Server, and we're done.